Alright, man, we're going to switch up the format here because I got to get my channel still is not eligible for live streaming for some reason. But either way, I'm going to make this here. So this is an example of almost a perfect draft. It's not totally perfect, but you can see right here this is an early pick. Now to explain the wide receiver situation, because I want to clarify a little bit, it depends where you land in this first round. You know, it depends what spot you have. So let's assume you get a top 4 spot, because I'm narrowing it down. You got the top 4 spots, or you got the last 8. So you're probably going to land in the last 8, and I got another draft I'll show you on what to do on that situation. But let's say you get a top 4 pick, Barkley, McCaffrey, Kamara, and Zeke, and I took Kamara here simply because then I could take his backup. He has a clear-cut handcuff, which Zeke really does. If anything ever happens to Zeke, I really don't think Pollard is going to be on his level. But if something happens to Kamara, Latavius Murray would definitely be on his level, but I missed out on Latavius Murray. And so, no big deal. Still got Kamara. He's a great pick. But anyway, so you get your top 4 running backs. Now, if you were pick 5, I'd want you to go wide receiver here. Okay, so the rest of these should all be wide receiver. All these positions you land in from 5 to 12 are all wide receivers in my strategy. So what we're going to do is you're going to come back around here, and hopefully Mike Evans or Antonio Brown will be sitting there for you at, 1, 2, 3, or 4. And so that's what I did. I took Mike Evans. And then it came back around, and here's where I would take Antonio Brown if sometimes he'll fall here and you get your double wide receivers right here. Your 2 elites are right there. That's the best thing that could happen, but it doesn't usually happen. So I'm not going to pass up on Devonta Freeman. To me, he's a true league winner, and if he ended up winning the entire league, and if he was leading the entire league in rushing and touchdowns and scoring for fantasy at the end of the year, I really wouldn't be that surprised. Anyway, I know there's a couple of red flags about him, but there's a lot. But not too much to go over. You can check out one of the old videos if you want a refresher on Devonta Freeman. But anyways, the point is you're going to grab your wide receiver here on the second round, and then you're going to come back around and grab Devonta Freeman, or, whichever one of these running backs you're partial to. David Montgomery would be my next pick if I didn't get Devonta Freeman. And then it's going to shoot over here, and all these guys are going to come around. And I don't know how Godwin got here. He's not usually here, but I was hoping maybe to get Tyler Lockett, but I didn't. So it was hard for me to pass up Chris Godwin because I was thinking then I might miss out on Gordon. Maybe I'll take Gordon and then miss out on Godwin. Even though I want Josh Gordon between the two, I felt like I could get both of them here. So I did that. Now, if you look, just going straight down, all the blue or purpley ones are running backs. Green ones are wide receivers, in case you didn't know that. And you can see I really only got 3 wide receivers. I hit them hard and I hit them early, and then I have all this time down here to pick other players that I really like without having to value wide receivers. I basically just put wide receivers on the shelf because I'm totally done. Now, when I'm starting my league or my season, I've got 2 elite wide receivers in my starting lineup. And then I've got a third one in my flex, and especially in PPR, that's a great way to dominate. And if one of these guys gets hurt, it's okay. You still got 2 elite wide receivers. Now you just have to fill someone in your flex. It's really a great position to be in. And so, but the key is they have got to be elite. If you're down here picking like, Mike Williams or Fuller or like those guys are not what I'm talking about. Now that's good for your third. I like Dede Westbrook and Christian Kirk, if they're going to be your third wide receiver, excuse me, or your fourth. So this is what I mean. You're going to take your wide receivers early. When I took one down here, down here doesn't really matter a whole lot, but yeah, you can just take a look at that. That's pretty much how I would end up in a draft. I didn't do it perfectly. There's a couple things I would change, like this guy right here. He took a defense in the 6th round, which is pretty freaking nuts. So that kind of threw a monkey wrench into it. Otherwise, down here, I would have got the Bears. I would have came right here on number 9, round number 9. I would have got Jalen Samuels on 9, and Bears on 8, Jalen Samuels on 9. And you get in a real draft, you're never going to have anyone take the Bears in the 6. So this is obviously a mock draft, so people like to troll and do all kinds of stupid stuff in mock drafts. But down here, Jalen Samuels would have went 9th in the 9th round, and I would have grabbed the Bears D here, would have came back, and Jared Goff would have might been there in the 10th round. If not, I would have taken Trubisky. Okay, so I would have took Trubisky right there, and then I come back to Alexander Mattison in the 11th. I absolutely love that. He's one of the few handcuffs that you can still get later. It seems like everybody's swooping up in the handcuffs, and they're kind of disappearing now when you have Darwin Thompson gone, and Singletary is now. I'm going to do a video actually on Singletary and McCoy soon, so stay tuned for that one. But anyway, so this is the high pick. Okay, you got a top 3 pick. Let's say you got a top 4 pick. This is what you want to do. You want to grab one of those 4 running backs, then come back around, and if you can grab Antonio Brown and Mike Evans on the 2nd and the 3rd round, that's golden. You probably won't be able to, but if sometimes they do fall. But if not, you grab Mike Evans for sure, or Antonio Brown, whichever one falls. And then on the comeback, you're going to grab, the comeback's right here, a running back. Either Freeman or Montgomery are my choices. After that, I would probably go with, it gets kind of dicey after that. I'd probably go with Carry-On or Josh Jacobs if I had to on the next one. Probably go Josh Jacobs, really. That's a little bit closer. So that's that. Now, if you get a late pick, here's a different draft that I went and did real quick. Now, this is a late pick. I don't know why it says computer there, but that was definitely me. And you can see I took 2 wide receivers, 2 elite wide receivers. And then it came back to me here, and I grabbed Carry-On. And then I came back this way, grabbed Mark Ingram. I like Mark Ingram a lot this year. And also, once you get past Mark Ingram, I think that's the last of the good running backs that you really want to start. So I got myself here in this situation, 2 elite wide receivers. I really don't even need a whole lot of other wide receivers because they're just going to sit on my bench. Like, when are you ever going to start their wide receiver over Julio Jones or Juju Smith-Schuster? And so now, because I did that, and now I got my 2 running backs, so I've got, I'm not going to have a giant hole on my team now. I've got running backs and wide receivers taken care of. And then on this round right here, 5, so it goes this way, this way, this way. When the picks are coming back, 5 right here, T.Y. Hilton just fell to me. I would not normally take him because he wouldn't normally be there, but he was too good of a value. And that's why I say, if you can get 3 elite wide receivers, then do it, because they only last so long, and this guy just happens to fall. And just because Andrew Luck is gone, people are starting to think that Hilton is going to have a bad year, but I don't think that's the case. All right, so that's what I mean. If you got a late pick, you're going wide receiver, wide receiver. If you have an early pick, maybe think of this guy right here. He did pretty decent. He went, he did my strategy. He got Kamara, came back. He got Mike Evans. Then he, missed out. There was no other wide receiver there, so he grabbed his Chris Carson. I would have grabbed Devonta, but that's okay. And then on the next come around, he grabbed Brandon Cooks. So he would have been good right there. And then he went to Deshaun Watson. So I think that's great. That's perfect. And then, of course, he blew it right here with A.J. Green. He totally blew it. I mean, you cannot spend a 6th on a bust. You can bust down here on players. These players don't really matter that much, but these players have got to be good because you're going to be using them to trade up. You're going to package these middle round, high-quality players, but not elite. You're going to package them up with waiver wire picks, and you're going to use both of those to combine and move your starters up into these categories across the year, over the course of the season. But hopefully that helped you understand what I mean by grab those wide receivers early. And if you want to know more about the wide receiver strategy and why I'm heavy on wide receiver this year, you can just go check out the draft strategy video that I did, pre-draft strategy video, and the draft extravaganza palooza video that I did. And that's it. So hey, I had a hard time getting that live, shooting a live video because my account's not quite eligible for whatever reason, but I did want to go ahead and take care of you, homie, so I dropped this, and good luck on your draft. Let's see what else I can glean from this while I've got this thing on. Yeah, just look at this. So you got my top 5 picks, I got 3 elite wide receivers. It's 2 really elite, and a third one who's elite too. He just fell. He's not, he's the bottom of the elite, if you will. And then after that, now here's an interesting thing. Hunter Henry went too early. Normally this is the perfect spot to land Hunter Henry in the 6th. He doesn't usually go in the 5th. But if I'm in the 5th, I might be taking him myself. So I understand that pick. He made a great pick. But on the comeback around, I had a tough choice between Ingram and OJ, and I really don't like either one of them. but I like him a whole lot better than all the other ones. So I had to pick one of them, and I went with OJ, but I don't love it. I would have been thrilled if I got Hunter Henry there. But either way, I don't have a hole on my team, and I do have a beast right there. So I'm good. Come back around. Now I'm starting to get my depth and my handcuffs that are later going to be most likely at some point a starter for me. So Jalen Samuels, we all know what's going on in Pittsburgh. James Conner last year was the backup, and he ended up being a stud. So if something happens to James Conner, we know the Pittsburgh running back is legit. And this guy right here, I really like him because he's been in the system. He's not like a brand new player to the team. And then also he's sometimes eligible for tight end, which can make a big difference on your team. So he's one of my favorite handcuffs. And then I came back around and grabbed Penny because Chris Carson gets hurt a lot. And Rashad Penny is right there waiting in the wings for that to happen. So he'll be an instant stud if anything happens. Use a handcuff. And then it came back around. I missed out on my guy Goff, but I love Winston. See, this is the power that I have now. I'm not even looking at wide receivers anymore. Like literally, I'm just looking for handcuffs and the best wide receiver out of my little clique of wide receivers that I like, whichever one falls to me. I'm happy with several of them. I love Goff. I love Winston. I love Trubisky, and those are the three that I target because for various reasons. You go check out the draft video again for more data. But I'm just trying to explain this as best I can. And then I'm just explain this pick a little bit because this is really early to take a defense. I was trying to get through this draft really quick so I could put this video out for you. So I didn't spend, and I had to do the other one too. So I did 2 drafts. But, you know, I wasn't real sure whether I wanted to get Jacksonville or Baltimore. They're both really good. But I love what Jacksonville did in the draft. And I like defenses that have draft young, explosive players. And that's the Jacksonville defense. So I'm trusting my gut on my analysis, which has worked out the past few years on defenses, and we're going with young players that are physical specimens that are new to the team and are loaded all around with multiple players that are young and new and high picks, basically. High picks, not just young. I mean, obviously all rookies are young. I'm talking about high picks. So teams that have invested high picks into drafts, into the defense, are who you're looking for in each year. Each year you go into the fantasy, you're looking for what team invested a lot of draft capital, high value draft capital into their defense, and that's kind of one of my little secret sauces there. So that right now is Jacksonville. I told you in my other video, if you watched it and got to the end, which is like an hour long, so if you did, you're a trooper. But I went over Josh Allen, who was drafted by the Jacksonville Jags, and why I like them a lot. So even though this is a little bit early, I didn't want to miss out on Jacksonville and Baltimore, and I would have, because this guy went and took them, and then I came back and it would have been like, you know, I mean, I'm not that upset. I would have probably went Denver because they got Nick Chubb and Von Miller, and they got Vic Fangio at D coordinator, and so, you know, and we're late in the draft. So here you start, you know, nothing's a lock anymore. But I do think Baltimore is a lock, Jacksonville's a lock, and the Chicago Bears are a lock. Now, this one's more realistic. You see the Bears went in the 9th here. So my plan on getting them in 8th would work. And if I was paying attention and not doing 2 drafts at the same time and trying to hurry up, I would have definitely took the Bears. Let's see. This. Oh, yeah, I would have took the Bears. I would have took the Bears right here. So I wouldn't have had Penny. But then I would have came back here and I would have got Justin Jackson. I think. Yeah. Or I would have got, or I would have got, yeah, I probably would have wanted to hit LaShawn McCoy because the upside's there, but I'm not buying him really. Not really buying him. You know, when you get down these late picks, it doesn't really matter anymore. All right, so that's it, my doggies. I'll see you on the next one. Sorry I couldn't put my face on this one's kind of boring, but, you know, I'm limited technology-wise, and we'll get this thing tightened up. But either way, we're going to kill that fantasy team. All right, see ya.